At Man City Fan TV, we're really pleased to promote this wonderful sketchwork artwork by a lady called Leslie Ross. You can follow Leslie on Twitter at 111Leslie111 and also follow her on Facebook and Twitter at 9320art.
Hi guys, it's Harry here from Man City Fan TV, back after another week where Manchester City claimed their first trophy of the season, beating Chelsea on penalties in the Carabao Cup final, and two more Premier League games, two 1-0 wins, one against West Ham and one away at Bournemouth. Great week for the Blues. But I'm going to talk about the news going on outside the club. A lot of transfer activity going on, a lot of transfer rumours and contract rumours going on around the club this week in the media. So yeah, I'm going to break down what's kind of happened this week in City in terms of in the media. First of all, City announced yesterday that Eliakim Mangala has signed a new 1-year contract extension with the club. Why this is, I have no idea personally, but if I had to take a guess, it's to get a fee out of him. We paid £47 million for Mangala, which was a club record at the time, and he was meant to be our centre back for years to come, but it didn't work out that way. He didn't really find his form at all. And he's been on loan at Valencia. He was on loan at Everton last year, where he picked up a very bad knee ligament injury. So I think by Eliakim Mangala signing this contract, it could be by showing faith that City stuck by him while he's had this injury and made sure that he was okay. And I think he used Dr. Cugat in Barcelona as well for his medical treatment. So I'm hoping that this is just to get some sort of fee for Mangala when he eventually goes in the summer. I can't see him in Pep's plans at all. I mean, our injury crisis is bad, but it's not that bad. So Mangala hasn't played. I think he's played 17 times for Pep in the whole time he's been here. And even Eric Garcia and Philippe Sandler have been preferred ahead of him in cup games. So for me, it's just a way of getting money out of other clubs to buy him and get back a bit of that fee, the large fee actually that we got for him in the summer of 2016. One transfer story that may not have bemused City fans but more excited them is that Bernardo Silva is in talks to sign a new 6-year deal at Manchester City just 2 years after we signed him from Monaco. I think Bernardo Silva is going to be rewarded for the brilliant form he's shown this season. I mean, he's got to be in the running for certainly Manchester City's Player of the Year, but also Premier League Player of the Year. His versatility has been brilliant. I mean, he's been equally as good off the wing, where he's been playing recently, as he was at the start of the season when he was playing more centrally. We've been lucky that he's not one of the people that have been on the long list of injuries that we've got throughout the squad, and he's benefited from the injuries by proving his worth by coming in, because obviously he got the most appearances in a Manchester City shirt last season out of the whole squad, but a lot of them were off the bench. So now he's reaping the rewards of being patient and buying his time, and we're seeing a brilliant player blossoming at City, and I don't see why he's not going to sign this new 6-year deal, and he's going to be one of the best City players for years to come for sure, and I'm really excited to have him at the club. Because of his good form, there's obviously interest from abroad, especially from Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think he's a player that would suit both of their styles to a T. You know, he's such a magnificent footballer. But the way City handle the business in terms of contracts, I think it's excellent, and it's better than most of the teams in the world. We tied players down that are not even near the end of the contract. I mean, you look at Edison last year; he's only 1 year into his contract, and we handed him, another. I think it was another 2 years, which puts him up to 7 years in terms of his current deal. It's the same this year. We've added to it with the likes of Raheem Sterling signing a new contract. David Silva and Fernandinho, two great servants of the club, have also secured contracts. Phil Foden, a young prospect, has signed a new deal, and recently Aymeric Laporte has signed until 2025. So City are starting to buy this spine into long-term contracts. And Bernardo Silva is definitely going to be here for years to come, and I'm excited for what the future can hold for him, and he's going to win a lot of stuff here, that's for sure. One player that's caught the eye over at Dynamo Zagreb of Juventus, AC Milan and Manchester City is the winger Antonio Marin, and if you're a keen football manager player like me, you know the talent that this Antonio Marin has. He turns out into an absolute gem on the game. So if he's going to turn out into an absolute gem at real life, it's probably a real life City target. They seem to be going after these young players. They seem to be adopting a similar format to AC Milan, who have seemed to recently have adopted this no player over 30 policy in terms of transfers. And City have built a team over the last couple of years of young players. Leroy Sané, Gabriel Jesus, Aymeric Laporte, Bernardo Silva. They seem to be building the next new spine of Manchester City players. And if Antonio Marin comes in, he's just going to add to the wealth of wing options that we've got. He's a player who can use both feet, equally capable on both wings as well. He's got a box of tricks. He's got a good shot in him as well. He's a really good player from what I've seen of him. So obviously a lot of the top clubs are going to be after Marin. So it'd be a very good coup. And if Pep Guardiola goes and speak to him, it's hard to say no to him. So I'm hoping that if we're after him, that the Pep Guardiola effect could bring him to Manchester City. And on to the big news that came from Pep Guardiola's pre-match press conference versus Bournemouth. And it came from the embargo section. So it was quite big news, I thought, that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola are set to be given a £350 million war chest to buy players in the summer transfer window. This news comes from the rumours that Manchester City are set to get what Chelsea have got and get a transfer ban, with this football leaks news as well. That'll only add to it with the FFP and stuff like that. I think the rumour is about Jadon Sancho, about when we bought Jadon Sancho in the academy from Watford Academy to move him to Manchester City Academy, that we paid him a fee. I don't know the intricacies of that deal, but City seem to be worried if this news is true. So if you're going to look at where we're going to add, you got to say a left back, a centre defensive midfielder is two that we will definitely be getting, and plus two other additions. If I had to guess personally, I think a centre half will be one of them. You know, we've got Nicholas Otamendi and Vincent Kompany are both 30 plus, and you know, Vincent Kompany is back to fitness now, but his injury worries are always trouble for Pep Guardiola. And if we start to, you know, recently Aymeric Laporte and John Stones have picked up injuries as well, so we've had to rely on Nicholas Otamendi a lot, and as he gets older he's not going to be able to play as much games. So I'd say a centre back is another one we'd look at, plus maybe another attacker. I mean, maybe someone of David Silva's ilk, maybe actually a striker of Sergio Aguero's ilk, maybe to come in. But if we're looking at the targets now, left back we've been linked obviously with Ben Chilwell quite a bit. The reports from Goal this week suggest that Ben Chilwell wants to stay and be part of the new Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers' plans. So it'd be interesting to see how that one pans out. I mean, it'd be hard to say no to, if we do win the league, the current Premier League champions, and you know, a team that's looking to win the Champions League. And I'm sure a player like Chilwell will want to play on the highest competitions. So maybe Chilwell could be an option. Right, fullback could also be an option as well. You know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's impressed so much for Palace this season, could be an option on that right hand side. Danilo can play on both sides, so I mean, he's not really suited to a particular position. He can also play defensive midfield. Kyle Walker's been a bit hit and miss with form, so if we get a young player in there and Kyle Walker can nurture him, it'd be a good thing for Manchester City. And Pep Guardiola hasn't really hinted at a right back. He has hinted at a left back, saying that, you know, we can't rely on Benjamin Mendy not having another bad injury next season because of how injury prone he's been. And that's unfortunate because Mendy is a top quality player, but we can't rely on him, unfortunately, with these injuries. It's the same with Vincent Kompany. Well, in defensive midfield, you can kind of take your pick. I mean, we've lost out on a few. Thankfully, we lost out on Jorginho and Freddie, who have turned out to not be as good as I personally thought they were going to be. We've lost out on Frankie de Jong to Barcelona, and it was confirmed in January that he would be moving to Barcelona at the end of the year. So if you're looking at targets, I mean, the main one is Ndombele from Lyon, who in that brilliant Lyon team that looks like he's going to be rated Monaco-esque at the end of the season. He has stood out, and maybe he has caught the eye of Pep Guardiola. And in terms of the other position, you can really just take your pick. I mean, there's a few areas of the squad that need strengthening, but of course this squad is brilliant as it is. You know, I mentioned before that we could buy a striker to replace maybe Sergio Aguero in future years. You know, you're looking at maybe a player to replace David Silva, maybe as I said just then, a right back or a centre back. It's pretty much a mystery at the moment. I know there'll be more transfer rumours and who we're targeting as we come to the end of the season. And I mean, if City even get hit with this transfer ban, that is, because I imagine if we don't get hit with a transfer ban, maybe a centre defensive midfielder and a left back are the only positions we look at. If not, then we could be looking at a summer in like Pep Guardiola's second summer, where we bought a couple of fullbacks, an attacking midfielder and a goalkeeper. We bought a lot, and obviously that's going to get jibed from opposite fans about buying a lot. But in that scenario, we're going to need to, and it'll be an interesting summer, especially if we won the league. I mean, winning the league could go a lot way to determining what type of signings we get, or winning, you know, a major club competition, maybe even the Champions League, could go a long way into tempting players. You know, if we have won the Champions League, you know, we've got our pick of the players, because you can just say, look, we're the current best team in the world. We've won a domestic cup already. We were on course to win an FA Cup. You know, we're top of the league currently, hoping if Everton take some points off Liverpool in the Premier League, and we're progressing in the Champions League. So why not? Why would they not want to come to City? You know, we're one of the most appealing clubs in the world at the moment, with the best manager in the world, with one of the best squads in the world. why wouldn't a player want to come to Manchester City? So it's going to be a very interesting summer indeed. And that is about it for a roundup of what's been going on in Manchester City this week. A lot of rumours, a lot of negativity in the press for City, of course, because we went back to the top of the league yesterday with a hard-fought win over Bournemouth. If you want to see any of the reaction to any of the games, you know, we went down to Wembley. We had a brilliant day out. I think there's one massive vlog that we put together. There's actually a brilliant penalty shootout reaction with Andy Ray and Bolt from the Blue, which is absolutely brilliant. If you want to go and check that out as well, I found it so funny, and I think it was the exact same reactions me and my mum, who I went with, were feeling right on the other side of the ground with them. Any other reaction to any of the games is match reviews, team news, all that sort of stuff already on the channel. So go and check that out. So I've been Harry from Man City Fan TV, and I'll see you next time.